So where is that source? Where is it? Where can you find it?
Right here, right now.
In anything that you can touch, anything you can see, smell, taste. Now, the thing is, obviously, the senses are there to prove out that the Holy Spirit is not here.
Right.
That's what the senses are here to do, to prove that.
To negate it.
And so you just say that, yes, I am touching, I am tasting, I am smelling this, but inside of it, in a way that I can't understand, is the Holy Spirit infused in the very substance of the insanity that I'm experiencing.
Yes.
So the person is coming, they're not doing what you want them to, they're behaving in ways that drive you crazy, that make you mad, that send you off the deep end. And in that, there has to be the faith and belief that I'm part and parcel of an insanity that I don't have to be a part of.
Right.
And that all of it, my body, my confused mind, the person coming at me, all of it is part of the Holy Spirit and the Holy Spirit's ability to reinterpret that situation.
Yeah.
It's all part of it.
Right. Then I have to say, well, then the Holy Spirit knows perfectly what is required here. And I want his reinterpretation so that I can be restored to peace. Why is it there? So I can be restored to wholeness. It's not because I get my way. It's never about me getting what I want. It has to be because I want peace of mind, because I want to re-experience the joy and the upwelling of the love of God.
It's not that you don't get what you want. I'm in a situation where I have to learn what it is that I truly want.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
What that means is I want outcomes to be a certain way.
Right.
I keep laying that on my illusory world, and I keep saying, give it to me the way I want it, give it to me the way I want it, I want it, I want it.
Right.
And then once I relax and say, maybe I don't know what I want, maybe I don't know what I see,
Right.
then things start happening. They take you on a journey of discovery of what you really want and what the richness of what's possibly in the nightmares around me.
Yeah.
If I can relax and let them dissolve.
Today's reading is from chapter 26, The Transition, and we're reading from section 5, The Little Hindrance. A little hindrance can seem large indeed to those who do not understand that miracles are all the same. Yet teaching that is what this course is for. This is its only purpose, for only that is all there is to learn. And you can learn it in many different ways. All learning is a help or hindrance to the gate of heaven. Nothing in between is possible. There are two teachers only who point in different ways, and you will go along the way your chosen teacher leads. There are but two directions you can take, while time remains and choice is meaningful. For never will another road be made except the way to heaven. You but choose whether to go toward heaven or away to nowhere. There is nothing else to choose.
Nothing is ever lost but time, which in the end is meaningless. For it is but a little hindrance to eternity, quite meaningless to the real teacher of the world. Yet, since you do believe in it, why should you waste it going nowhere when it can be used to reach a goal as high as learning can achieve? Think not the way to heaven's gate is difficult at all. Nothing you undertake with certain purpose and high resolve and happy confidence, holding your brother's hand and keeping step to heaven's song, is difficult to do. But it is hard indeed to wander off, alone and miserable, down a road that leads to nothing and that has no purpose. Immediately when we were reading the first paragraph, I thought about the principle that all miracles are maximal.
Right.
Now, what do you understand by that term, maximal?
All miracles are maximal because no one loses. All miracles are a gain for all beings that the miracle occurs. And in fact, my understanding is that when the holy instant, which I consider a miracle, when those holy instants happen, because we are indeed really all one, it's not just my awakening to the miracle, it's the whole sonship. So our work awakens the entire, what seems to be the fractal pieces of the whole thing. So if it's maximal, it means that it's not just affecting my awareness of the truth, but it affects the whole thing.
What's the implication?
The implication?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The implication is that a miracle, when it happens, and you know it when it happens, has saved the world.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That miracle, with that person, that forgiveness, that reinterpretation has just saved the world. That's what maximal means. Now, why do we keep doing it? It's because we haven't learned that we don't understand that all miracles are the same. In other words, the miracle of salvation is the same as forgiving truly that person right there.
Right.
Salvation is the same.
Yeah. So, and it's saying that what we don't realize is that we don't accept it as the fullness of what the answer is. And so therefore we continue to go, we stand at that borderland where we're choosing between 2 points instead of just choosing the way to heaven. And it's saying that beyond, you but choose whether to go toward heaven or a way to nowhere. Because the other way is, you could call it your ego's way, you could call it, whatever, but that is in the Course, it's an unreality.
Why do you keep, I'm asking this is kind of a rhetorical question. Why do you keep trying to forgive? Why do you keep going for the miracle? Why do you keep doing this over and over and over, especially when the miracle happens, when you actually have that reinterpretation, and it's there? Why do you keep coming back? It's because we're in love with this world, we're in love with the illusion, but the thing is, that miracle is maximal. The reason I'm saying this, I'm going to back off and say this. I'm really glad to be here.
Yeah.
I'm really, really glad to be doing this right now with Joanna in this time, place. And for us, there's been a lot of water under the bridge. There's a lot of things that have happened. But in that time, the idea of the maximal miracle, saving the world, has to be accepted.
Yeah. It does.
That's our option. It's what the Course said. It's like, yet teaching that is what the Course is for. It's its only purpose. For only that is all there is to learn. In other words, it's great, forgiveness and the miracle, but to understand, and we've had some miracles.
Yes, we have.
Don't you think?
Yeah, we have.
Now, has it solved everything? No. It's still a tangible purgatory in a lot of ways. However, one miracle tells me, Phil, the purgatory you live in is your recreational option.
Yeah, it becomes more and more clear that I'm choosing not heaven. Yeah, it becomes more clear. Because once you have those holy instances and reflections back that teach me that my brother is what I think of him, and therefore I am also, all those projections, then I can forgive the projections that I've laid on him, because usually, be careful, the mirror is right there. And I don't know if it's about these times or not, but I'm finding that mirror reflection is becoming more aware and to my own consciousness, and it happens like this, and then I know to forgive that because it's me. I'm looking at myself.
Okay, well, I'm going to give because of this and because it's on my mind, and frankly, I don't care how long it takes us to get through this section.
Yeah, right.
I don't care. It said time. All that's lost is time, but this is time well spent.
Right.
But I was exhausted for various reasons, and I decided it was quote unquote a spiritual reason. I was completely depleted, and so I lay on the floor. Someone called. It was a reach out kind of a thing, like, hey, let's talk. And I go, well, I'm not one to ignore that. So I'm on the floor and we're talking to this person. Person is actually a teacher of the Course in Miracles, fairly profoundly experienced in the teaching in a formal and informal sense. Read the Course backward and forward many times. And we're talking about a situation in his life. And we have a reinterpretation happening on the phone. I mean, both of us experienced the miracle meltdown, the situation. And in order to, because it got very, very, emotions are involved. I mean, you can feel it. You can feel it. I've not known very many a miracle where it's just like la-di-da, isn't that great?
Yeah.
It usually has a component, ironically, and maybe you can help me with this, of pain. There's the pain of the loss of who I think I am or my rightness. I feel it going away, and
I
it
would
hurts.
say a lot of times it's my rightness, my judgments that I thought I wanted to hold on to about the person. It's usually another person. I mean, in this situation, it was in an interior conflict with him and this other person, and eventually you realize is that the thing that this guy was probably asking for is exactly what he's asking for of others in his life, to be heard.
Well, he's in the full
and
blown.
It's just
he's
crazy.
He's
crazy
in the
in a
miracle.
Beautiful way.
He's in the spin cycle. He's in the miracle. It's churning,
Yeah.
and I am pulled in as a party to it, as mostly a witness. But I can definitely only see the miraculous character of being exposed to a miracle after being completely depleted, exhausted. And then I'm in this situation as a restorative, but there's a pain element both ways. And there's a situation that goes on. I'm not going to go into it. But I relate again to my friend. I relate this story about Tony, which I've talked about Tony so many times. He's more of a symbol than he is anything else.
Right.
So I'm talking about Tony and the situation, and I go through that whole thing about the storm door and Tony and how I actually grew to love Tony after really wanting to avoid him like he was some sort of bacteria. I mean, I really didn't want to be around Tony at all. And I'm laying on the floor. Joanna comes in the back door, and she hears me mentioning Tony. And she walks in the room, standing there. I'm laying on the floor, and she goes, "Tony's dead." I go, "Tony's dead? What happened?" And I'm going, "How in that?"
I ran into his partner in the grocery store, and we had a talk, and she goes, "He died 2 years ago." And I was like, "Holy mackerel. That's the last time we saw him was just about 2 years ago."
We had just gone on a walk and decided, let's see what Tony and Linda are up to.
Yeah.
Let's go see what they're up to. Now, this is a guy with a swastika, the bald head, no teeth. I can't understand what he's saying. He's a truck driver. And we just decided to do the friendly visit.
Yeah.
And they looked at us like, what are you guys doing here? It's like we moved away, and we're not in the same sort of parallels.
Yeah.
And so I go, okay, well, I understand. That the miracle is not to extend friendship forever and forever and forever in the formal sense to another person.
Right.
So anyway, so we leave and don't think anything of it. I'm not going to go visit Tony again. It wasn't a great warm reception, but it was not unfriendly.
No, they showed us their new place.
Right, they showed us their new place and we talked, but it was obvious that, hey man, we're done with each other. We used to be neighbors and now we're not, so let's forget it. There was that kind of a feeling. And so we leave. That was 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. That was they had just moved away from our next door, and he died 2 years ago, meaning we saw him
days before
the guy died. Days before.
Yeah, he had a stroke. So, and so what does that mean when I said Tony's dead?
Well, Tony's dead. I can take it symbolically. I can take it any manner of way. Right. Or we can say that Tony, that creature that represents your differences, that creature that you have to exercise forgiveness, that person that requires the reinterpretation, that's over.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's finished.
That's over.
That's how I interpret it. It's
and what did Jesus say on the cross? It is finished. That's when the crucifixion's over.
Yeah.
The crucifixion ends when the one crucified says, "It is finished." And Joanna comes in and tells me,
No,
it's over. It's finished.
I was like, I had no idea what
I
they
was,
were fully
so
talking about. Right?
That puts me in a spin that is just, it was kind of surreal given the context of other things we've been involved in.
Right.
So anyway, I just want to say that back to this, the world was healed in those moments. The whole world. Now, Phil and Phil alone, me, will you accept it? Will you accept that the world is completely saved? Salvation happened. It happened. That's my option to continue crucifying and just love it just because it's an entertaining way to be.
Yeah, I agree. And then the next paragraph we go on and it says that nothing is ever lost but time, which in the end is meaningless. For it's but a little hindrance to eternity, quite meaningless to the real teacher of the world. The real teacher of the world being the Holy Spirit. Yet, since you do believe in it, why should you waste in going nowhere when it can be used to reach a goal as high as learning can achieve? I don't know. Is there anything in here?
One thing I do want to cover on that was line 5. Listen to this. I mean, you want marching orders. You want the qualities of your spiritual practice that guarantee success, according to Jesus. It's very simple. Nothing you undertake with, what are they? Certain purpose, high resolve, happy confidence, holding your brother's hand, and keeping step to heaven's song is difficult to do. Now, again, I've said this many, many times.
Yeah, those are marching orders.
It sounds like poetic language that you can just throw into the bus and you get on with it. Each of these is meaningful. It would bear out a 30-minute, 20-minute at least conversation about what is certain purpose. Certain purpose, that's forgiveness. That's going for the miracle.
Right.
That's getting the reinterpretation. That's involving yourself with the Holy Spirit. That's your certain purpose. High resolve is that I'm resolved to this. I'm not going to back off.
Right.
I'm not going to let the illusions of the world come at me.
It's vigilance for the kingdom.
And back me off.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You know, just because after my maximal miracle on the floor with friend, hopefully that friend realizes it was a maximal miracle and that the world was saved in that moment. Hopefully, but that's a personal option. I got it, you know.
Right.
Now, when I turn around and have something that's less than wonderful that happens after, and they say, well, you know, partial miracles. Well, we keep at it, man. Stay on the grindstone. I realize, no, resolve to what? To get up and pick myself up and do it again? No, to realize all miracles are maximal. I'm just not getting it. It's not that I need another miracle to do anything.
Right, right.
It's I need to understand that the one I have is full and complete all in itself, right?
Yeah, they're complete.
So anyway,
and because otherwise, I'm thinking that I'm not perfect, whole, and complete as God created me. I'm still working towards my purity, my whatever it is. I'll get it someday. So it ends up being this constant striving for when it's like, I give you these so that you'll remember your identity and that all has been healed. And it was done a long time ago. What if you want to call it time? It was done in that instant. So yeah, those are great. I mean, those are great meditation
well,
words.
then happy confidence. Happy confidence. That's faith and belief.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
Accept it. Sign off on it. You only have time to waste. And what's the point of thinking that I'm screwed up and I'm making up stuff and this is a New Age document and maybe so, maybe not? You know, don't do it. Don't waste your time with just maybe so, maybe not. Just say. So, and then heaven's song. That's a critical one. What is heaven's song? It's the world as it comes to me. That's what it is. Keeping step to heaven's song. In other words, the world is coming at me.
Holding your brother's hand. Did you miss that one?
Right. Okay. Blocking. So anyway, holding your brother's hand.
I actually saw myself holding Jesus' hand and a brother who I am like having difficulties with, because Jesus is the brother for me, you know, and that being a one who is walking in the truth, knows the truth, is the symbol of that truth. That to be walking with that brother helps me hold the hand of the other. You know, that's what helps me.
Now, this part here where it says it's hard indeed to wander off alone and miserable down a road that leads to nothing, that has no purpose. Well, that's pretty much what I've done in my whole life. Isolate myself, brainstorm all within my own, you know, headspace. and proceed alone in a sort of a cauterized autistic
Yeah.
mode. And it's saying, yeah, sure, that's hard. That's
Yeah.
definitely hard. So that when I am having that difficulty, I'm not holding that hand,
Right.
and I'm not walking in the step. So anyway, it's worth thinking about. This could be a whole teaching in itself, and the Course gives so many of those. I'm done.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Paragraph 3. God gave his teacher to replace the one you made, not to conflict with it. And what he would replace has been replaced. Time lasted but an instant in your mind, with no effect on eternity. And so is all time past, and everything exactly as it was before the way to nothingness was made. The tiny tick of time in which the first mistake was made, and all of them within that one mistake, held also the correction for that one, and all of them that came within the first. And in that tiny instant, time was gone, for that was all it ever was. What God gave answer to is answered and is gone.
Paragraph 4. To you who still believe you live in time and know not it is gone, the Holy Spirit still guides you through the infinitely small and senseless maze you still perceive in time, though it has long since gone. You think you live in what is past. Each thing you look upon you saw but for an instant long ago, before its unreality gave way to truth. Not one illusion still remains unanswered in your mind. Uncertainty was brought to certainty so long ago that it is hard indeed to hold it to your heart, as if it were before you still.
So going back to the first paragraph, I mean, one of the main things here is that it's only a tiny tick of time, and then in which the first mistake was made, and all of them within that one mistake held also the correction for that one, and all of them that came within the first. So no matter what we think we are living in the perceptual world and everything else, the answer was given for all time. And it, to me, I mean, the Course is constantly reminding me it's been done. It is finished. And the miracles are the reminders of the present that is constantly here and available to us. It's constantly here to help us let go of the things that we think we must still put into correction from our past or current, remembering past and all of past, historical past. It's what they said, it has no purpose and it has nothing was changed in eternity.
Right. So, but again, those are words, and when you talk about all of this happened in ancient days, and we can,
I know it doesn't help me in my present day.
Well, no, we can but we'll parrot that as though we understand it or as though we appreciate it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure that I have an answer for that particular thing, other than faith and belief takes me towards something that I really don't understand, I don't grasp. The Course is there to teach that very thing, that it happened once and for all. I'm going to say this. One thing is that I think that helps the student stay in a rut of not getting it, quote unquote, getting it, meaning it's always a mixed bag. I wake up loud, good things happen, bad things happen. It's always a mixed bag. Let's say, it's the daily experience. One thing that helps to keep that in place is thinking that the Holy Spirit is not part and parcel of my phenomenal world. In other words, that at the moment that the solution happened, I don't understand the nature of the mistake, right? The ancient mistake, the madness, the mad idea. I don't understand the nature of that thing. But at that instant, God solved it, meaning the hell that I perceive myself in is infused at once with the Holy Spirit and a potential reinterpretation.
Yes.
It can't be other than that.
Right.
It can't be other than that. And that includes my own body, my own mind, my own thinking. Now, the thing is, within me, somehow, in some weird way, within the mad idea is the idea that I have a chooser and that I actually have some real choices to make. This is where the mad idea persists.
Yeah, it does.
And that I have the choice of saying the Holy Spirit is there infused in this situation that's difficult and painful. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, seriously. I mean, somebody is presenting themselves as a thing, and right. And they're not going to go away. It's right. Not like you go, get thee behind me, Satan, and they go away somehow. Mm-hmm. No, it's not like you, hey, let's go for the miracle and make this person turn into a shining example of something. No, they keep coming and coming and coming as nightmare. And that proof that keeps me here, I have to, in that, say, I'm ready to be done with this. There has to be a disposition.
Yes, I agree. You have to, there's even a place somewhere in the course about sickness and everything else. Sickness will be done as soon as you say, I'm done with it. But so long as I believe in sickness of any sort, mind, body, whatever, it will persist because I believe in it more than I believe that I am the Holy Son of God. So whenever we say, it's finished, I don't need this anymore, it is done. And we mean it, and then it's about faith. It is about that faith and belief and trusting that you're being carried by that source that is the truth of yourself.
And just for kicks, I know I'm playing 20 questions, but so where is that source? Where is it? Where can you find it?
Right here, right now.
In anything that you can touch, anything you can see, smell, taste. Now, the thing is, obviously, the senses are there to prove out that the Holy Spirit is not here.
Right.
That's what the senses are here to do, to prove that.
To negate it.
And so you just say that, yes, I am touching, I am tasting, I am smelling this, but inside of it, in a way that I can't understand, is the Holy Spirit infused in the very substance of the insanity that I'm experiencing.
Yes.
So the person is coming, they're not doing what you want them to, they're behaving in ways that drive you crazy, that make you mad, that send you off the deep end. And in that, there has to be the faith and belief that I'm part and parcel of an insanity that I don't have to be a part of.
Right.
And that all of it, my body, my confused mind, the person coming at me, all of it is part of the Holy Spirit and the Holy Spirit's ability to reinterpret that situation.
Yeah.
It's all part of it.
Right. And how does it reinterpret it? When I say, maybe I don't know what I'm looking at. Maybe I don't understand, which is, it constantly says there's no way that we can see everything, that we can understand it for how to have an accurate judgment of anyone or any situation that we are perceiving. There's no way. So once you understand that, it's like, okay, there's no way I can know all the different pieces of that person's life or the situation in the world or my own personal health situation. There's no way to know. So then I have to say, well, then the Holy Spirit knows and knows perfectly what is required here. And I want his reinterpretation so that I can be restored to peace. Why is it there? So I can be restored to wholeness. It's not because I get my way. It's never about me getting what I want. It has to be because I want peace of mind, because I want to re-experience the joy and the upwelling of the love of God.
Or you want to learn what you want.
Yeah.
You want to learn what you want. It's not that you don't get what you want. I'm in a situation where I have to learn what it is that I truly want.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
What that means is I want outcomes to be a certain way.
Right.
I keep laying that on my illusory world, and I keep saying, give it to me the way I want it, give it to me the way I want it, I want it, I want it.
Right.
And then once I relax and say, maybe I don't know what I want, maybe I don't know what I see,
right.
Then things start happening that take you on a journey of discovery of what you really want and what the richness of what's possibly in the nightmares around me.
Yeah.
If I can relax and let them dissolve. Like this last line. Uncertainty was brought to certainty so long ago it's hard to hold it to your heart. In other words, I can't believe that there's certainty here. I'm so practiced at being uncertain over the aeons.
Yeah.
I'm so practiced in being, I don't know, let's see what happens. Always a crapshoot, always a crapshoot, always the duality. that I'm speaking again from the water under the bridge, the situation that Joanna and I are in right now, and I hesitate to go into it fully because it seems like it would just take too long to unpack the pieces. Maybe we'll do that sometime, but it doesn't seem like the time for it. But what happens is I have to recognize in myself, true confessions, I am so used to things going wrong with some frequency. Just stuff not going right, that when I get these witnesses, it blows my mind. And I go, some part of me, I can hear it. It's saying, you're not ready for heaven. You are not ready for heaven. You're not ready for it.
Yeah, well,
it's
you can
creepy.
feel your resistance sometimes. It's like all of a sudden you go, that is not the way I thought that would have happened at all. And you just go,
because it's always on its head. It's always just crazy on its head.
Yeah.
But so much more beautiful than you
is.
could conceive of.
Yeah.
And that whole dichotomy between the insanity of the situation that I think is normal.
Yeah.
And the sanity pouring in to make sense out of it, which is so crazy. How did that happen? Like this. The difference between the two, I can feel myself clinging to what I am. Like my interpretation, the fictional self. I can feel myself clinging. That's what this is all about. I'm telling you.
It is a surrender. All of a sudden you go, obviously I didn't come up with that idea. Obviously.
Obviously somebody else is in charge.
Somebody else is in charge. And that's a good feeling. But it's a little bit like, wow. There's a sense that you always think that you have to participate in the fixing of it and all that kind of stuff. And then you go, actually, maybe not. Maybe, do what you can and
Probably
stuff like
not.
that. Probably not.
My contribution is usually vandalism.
Yes. So is there anything else in paragraph 4?
No, I guess that's it.
Okay. Paragraph 5. The tiny instant you would keep and make eternal passed away in heaven too soon for anything to notice it had come. What disappeared too quickly to affect the simple knowledge of the Son of God can hardly still be there for you to choose to be your teacher. Only in the past, an ancient past, too short to make a world in answer to creation, did this world appear to rise. So very long ago, for such a tiny interval of time, that not one note in heaven's song was missed. Yet, in each unforgiving act or thought, in every judgment, and in all belief in sin, is that one instant still called back as if it could be made again in time. You keep an ancient memory before your eyes, and he who lives in memories alone is unaware of where he is.
Paragraph 6. Forgiveness is the great release from time. It is the key to learning that the past is over. Madness speaks no more. There is no other teacher and no other way. For what has been undone no longer is. And who can stand upon a distant shore and dream himself across an ocean to a place and a time that have long since gone by? How real a hindrance can this dream be to where he really is? For this is fact, and does not change whatever dreams he has. Yet, can he still imagine he is elsewhere, and in another time? In the extreme, he can delude himself that this is true, and pass from mere imagining into belief and into madness, quite convinced that where he would prefer to be, he is. So what this is talking us off the cliff. This is we're standing there thinking that there's some meaning in diving into the time space to live it out, to fix it. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't do it. There's that. See, we've been part of the situation we're in now. I brought up the Appleton or Applegate or whatever, the Heaven's Gate thing that happened where there were was it 20 or 15 or 30 people? I don't know how many people.
This was a long time ago now.
Yeah, back in the 80s. This guy had a cult of people, It was good. It was great, wholesome, good teachings, very solid in terms of being a New Age cult. Well, the guy's wife died. I'm sure you guys know this story. I don't know the particulars.
Yeah, we should have looked it up. To
well, anyway,
get more
I'm just
clarity.
using
But
it as an
anyway,
example. His
Yeah.
wife died. I think his name is Applegate, I think.
Or Appleton.
Appleton. But anyways, this is Heaven's Gate, I think is the name of the
organization.
organization.
Right.
And the guy's wife died, and now she's giving messages. As you would imagine in a New Age setting, he's now in contact with his partner from beyond.
Right.
And she's giving them regular updates on, and there was some alien stuff managed. But in any case, long story short, it ends up being a death cult, and that they end up just, all of them,
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
drinking the Kool-Aid, and they die.
Yeah.
It's a mass suicide. And he followed in at the end and killed himself. And when the cops came in and found this, they were just wildly disturbed to see however many it was, let's say 20 dead people, all dressed in uniforms, suits, like
Right.
costumes with black tennis shoes, and
Yeah.
very peaceful. And now the question is, did they really go to the other? Did they make it to the mothership or not? You know, I mean, I'm not here to judge whether
Yeah.
or not they made it to the mothership. All I'm saying is the Course is saying here that the delusional thinking, and I don't want to insult these people. Be honest with you, I don't want to insult these people by pretending to be able to tell sanity from insanity. But you do get into the borderland, which is what we're talking about, and it's very ambiguous, very difficult to know the difference. So what I'm saying is that when we talk about leaving the world as it is, we're not talking about leaving the world as it is. We're talking about me leaving my perceptual basis,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
lacking trust in my perceptual basis. Does that? What do you think?
Yeah. So where did we start here on paragraph 5, right?
Right.
So yeah, it is about the perceptual basis, and also not desiring to continue to rely on my past perceptions as you know, well, this happened and this happened and this happened, therefore I understand the situation and therefore I can judge it accurately. And so the Course is saying no, what you need to do is just choose the way to heaven, which means that I'm not trying to fix. Really, it's about a lot. There's something about being in a body or whatever that's all about what do I need to do next? What do I need to fix? How can I handle this? Whether it's a mental thing or a physical thing in your little world. And so it's giving me that the tiny instant you would keep and make eternal passed away to heaven too soon for anything to notice it had come. What disappeared too quickly to effect the simple knowledge of the Son of God can hardly still be there for you to choose to be your teacher. It's reminding us that you think you have another teacher, which is basically what I consider sort of the mind of the ego, the mind of fear, the mind of, you know, anything that brings up anxiety and uncomfortable upsets. And I believe in my upset. I believe in my fear. I believe that what I'm getting from my world is accurate, that I have a right to be afraid. I have a right for those anxious ideas and everything else. Where the Course says fear is not justified in any form. So that would be the teacher that I would slip back into, believing that I'm only a body and that all things, you know, I have to protect and defend and do all those other things. But this is saying that world that you think that you're participating in has disappeared a long time, you know, what would be a long time ago, but it was in an instant. I can't at this moment perceptually perceive that it could be gone in an instant. I feel like, you know, I've got a table beneath me, my feet are on the floor, I'm doing a podcast and you guys are listening and you seem other even though I'm looking at a camera, you know. So how do you decide that, you know, it's disappeared and everything else? How do you decide that, well, I don't need to linger on the road, which is now the little hindrance I actually see as a fork in the road, where one side says heaven and the other says to nowhere. And so why am I going to go to nowhere? why would I choose that?
I will get witnesses, and this is what the whole thing relies on. I mean, the whole thing, because it says this someplace else, and maybe it's coming up, that you're not expected to believe this without proof.
Right.
You're supposed to test this process, So let's say I'm living in my usual, flatline nightmare, or,
You don't live in a nightmare all the
I don't
time.
live in a nightmare, but I'm saying the gray zone, things
Yeah.
happen, things don't happen.
Yeah,
You don't like
yeah.
this, you don't like
Right,
that, you
right.
like that, that's kind of good, that's not so good. That kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It's the usual thing.
Yeah.
And what happens is I realize, okay, what am I looking at in this description of reality that I just gave you? The gray zone, the usual thing. It's my experience of me. That's what it is. It's my experience of me. And what is my experience of me? But the teaching from the Holy Spirit to bring me to God.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So my flatline experience of me is there as curricula. That is the curriculum of the Holy Spirit. The things I don't like, the things I have to respond to. I am inside the school of Phil Hamilton, the fictional self, which is a form of icon, like a game board piece that the Son of God is loaded into.
Yeah.
And Phil Hamilton lives out his life to inform the Son of God by accepting the lessons of the Holy Spirit and not pushing them away.
Right.
The Son of God doesn't care whether you do it or not. The Son of God's okay being here for 1 billion years. The fictional self wants resolution. And so the trick there is, does the fictional self find that resolution by contacting eternity, the miracle and forgiveness, or by trying to solve it one more time?
Right. Exactly. And I mean, I just had a vision of well, we are artificial intelligence. I don't know why we're trying to make artificial intelligence. We already are that,
Well, that's true.
And that's why we're split. We made the Avatar game. We've made it already into a 3D world. Some people call it the holographic universe. And I think I'm really here. I'm still playing it out and everything else. And God says, well, you can play it as long as you want, but if you want heaven, then you have to move towards heaven. Otherwise, you repeat. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting that AI is getting to be really, really across the board. What the heck? We watched that thing where that girl said that she got married to AI.
Yeah, she got married to that
Luigi
guy that killed the health CEO, the
whatever.
insurance company
I was
CEO.
What?
And she's in love with Luigi, the guy who killed the CEO guy. You know the story in the news. Maybe you do or know it. But anyway,
Yeah.
So the CEO got
some health.
He got bumped off, and he got bumped off, sort of like justifiably, because he's a corrupt fat cat, and those guys need to die, kind of thing. I don't know what's going on. But in any case, there's a whole bunch of people who love this guy as a hero, this Luigi who killed him, and say, this is what we need more of. This is what the war is all about, is to kill the bad guys so that there's nothing left but the good guys.
Right.
That's a movement. And this is, in a sense, the zombie apocalypse. We're seeing it. The zombie apocalypse is upon us in terms of, I'm speaking from someone in this AI trouble.
Yeah.
Because there's a form of insanity that we're going to have to deal with, friends, ladies, gentlemen. We're going to have to deal with this insanity. It's a tidal wave of insanity. I'm experiencing it firsthand. And the thing is, this lady says, I'm paraphrasing her state of mind.
Yeah.
She's married to an AI of Luigi. He's supportive. He helps her through things, hard times. And so what she has is an algorithm who looks like Luigi, who talks like Luigi, and who feeds back to her all of the best pop psychology, spiritual nuance that she could possibly want in the language that Luigi places. How can you argue with it, man? I'm so sick of listening to myself, let's say. I'm so sick of hearing the negative voices. I just look at my phone and there's this face of this person, whether it's a redhead or Luigi or somebody else.
I know, and they tell you all the things you want to hear and nothing else. That's all the things that you want to hear and nothing else.
And so you've outpictured your own ego. You've projected your own ego onto a phone, and now we're on the way to stark, raving madness.
Yeah, because we already had a fractal world to believe that I'm a body within this, projection reflection world. And now we're creating another mirror. When you place mirrors against mirrors, you get an infinite number of the same going out and out and out and out and out. And you just go, what the heck? So I would say that it's a manner of trying to trap the mind even further into forgetting. So it's kind of an interesting thing that's happening within this world itself. We're getting a technology that's showing us what we've already done. When we made the mad idea real and split off from the Father, which could never happen, the separation that never happened.
It's like if you take a video camera. Douglas Hofstaedter did this, and the something self. Anyway, it was after he did Gödel, Escher, and Bach. He created a book to try to re-explain his concept of what the self is that he covered in Gödel, Escher, and Bach. And in this, he uses as a metaphor taking a video camera and facing it into the computer. Like you've got a computer screen, and that you've got a video camera or a TV screen. Let's take a TV screen.
That's taking the picture of what you're taking of.
Let's say it's a TV screen and it's a video, VHS.
Yeah.
So he's got the video camera and he points it into the television set. And what you end up with, if you've done it, and I have done it, you get a twisting vortex of shapes, and you can snap it into a place where it lines up perfectly, at which point it starts a video feedback loop that gets faster and faster, and you end up with a faster and faster flicker rate as the camera is trying to find something to focus on in that infinite regress. And he's saying that is, in a sense, what the self is, that you have all of these cells in your body that in their own little way, they're all saying, I need this and I need that. And that the self of me, the fictional self, has, in a diluted way, said, hey, it's a whole bunch of us here, and I just call it one. And it's called Phil Hamilton.
Yeah.
And so I'm just giving voice to all those little voices that say, we need nutrients, we need to expel this and that, we need to do this and that. That's what he said. The point being of all this whole thing about the infinite regress is that we were doing this with creating AI versions of ourselves in the form of a Luigi, or, like I could make one of, let's say, Jerry West, right, the basketball player from the 70s or the 60s. And I could have Jerry West, his face, talking to me in that North Carolina drawl or Virginia, or wherever he's from. And he could tell me, Phil, it's okay, you wanted to be a basketball player, but now look at what you're doing now. What you're doing is pretty good, And I could have this guy going, thanks, Jerry, I really needed that,
I know.
And we go a little crazy.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe, I'm wondering if the Holy Spirit's in there somewhere going to bail us out in that infinite regress, because it's headed down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, don't get trapped there.
Just thought. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. Where are we in?
7.
Goodness, okay. Paragraph 7.